What a wonderful change in my life has been wrought since Jesus came into my heart. I have light in my soul for which long I had sought since Jesus came into my heart. Since Jesus came into my heart. Since Jesus came into my heart. Floods of joy o'er my soul like the sea billows roll. Since Jesus came into my heart. I'm possessed of a hope that is steadfast and sure. Since Jesus came into my heart. And no dark clouds of doubt now my pathway obscured. Since Jesus came into my heart. Since Jesus came into my heart. Since Jesus came into my heart. Floods of joy o'er my soul like the sea billows roll. Since Jesus came into my heart. I shall go there to dwell in that city I know, since Jesus came into my heart. And I'm happy, so happy as onward I go, since Jesus came into my heart. Since Jesus came into my heart. Since Jesus came into my heart. Floods of joy o'er my soul like the sea billows roll. Since Jesus came into my heart. Since Jesus came into my heart. Since Jesus came into my heart. Floods of joy o'er my soul like the sea billows roll. Since Jesus came into my heart.
Okay, today we'll carry on where Sishu left us yesterday. And he posed two questions. I asked you to think about it. In Mark chapter 4, verse 35 onwards, Mark chapter 4, verse 35, where Jesus was in a boat with the disciples and encountered a storm and just asleep, the incident. The question was asked, why did Jesus, in a way, cross the sea, okay? Why was Jesus asleep in the boat? Why was Jesus asleep in the boat? What you all say is true, okay? I think we did the first part that just asleep. Just asleep because, like it says, it's 100% human, it's 100% God. He grew tired and in a long day, so he fell asleep, okay? As I said before, Jesus being God is all-knowing, omniscient, and sovereign, so he knows the storm is coming, okay? Now, if you understand that you have to talk about the storm, okay, I think Jesus knew the storm was coming this time, and even the time I preached about last Sunday on Mark 14. So I think it's important to know that Jesus knows. And what you all said rightly is you want to test the faith of the disciples. You want to test their faith to see whether they still believe in him. I think the 3 points that we need to also remember is that Jesus told them, we are going to go to the other side. Okay? When Jesus promised that you go to the other side, which means that you will definitely reach the other side. You won't sink halfway. You'll definitely reach the other side of the lake. I think that's the promise of Jesus is to be taken as he has promised. At the same time, at the very fact that Jesus was with them, in a way they are still fearful despite the power and the miracles and the teaching of Jesus just before that. Here was Jesus who did so many miracles before them. And yet, the very person was with them on the boat, and yet they were frightened. Okay? And thirdly, obviously, I think their faith in Jesus was not there yet. I think that's where when Jesus woke up, rebuked the wind and the wave, and says, "Oh man of little faith, why can't you believe? Why can't you believe me? When I said that you'll go. Okay, just a storm, and you are so frightened. Okay, if they exercise faith, then maybe they can stop the wind and wave, we don't know, because they never did that. Okay, so I think it's important for us to understand that faith is important. Faith is important, that even as we go through difficulties in life, our faith will be tested. But God promised to be with us, help us to see us through any storm and every storm that comes along our way. Okay, the other question, why did Jesus cross to the other side? As Rennie said, you read on to Mark chapter 5. Okay, Mark chapter 5 talks about this Gerasene demoniac, a man demon-possessed, was so powerful, can break the chains and live among the graveyard and all that. And all Jesus did going on to the other side, because this is more of a non-Jewish side, the Gentile side of Lake Galilee, okay, because there are pigs around and all that. All Jesus did when he went to that side of the Sea of Galilee was to encounter this demon-possessed man. As you read the account, as you all know the story, Jesus healed him, delivered all the demons from him, legend, okay, on into the pigs and all that, and he was well. And because the people in that time, in that area, wasn't sure what's happening, and they lost all their pigs, literally chased Jesus away. And although the man who was healed says, "I want to follow Jesus," Jesus told him, "No, you stay back, okay? Just tell the people what I've done in your life." And you read subsequent part of the scriptures, this demon-possessed man who was healed by Jesus became a great evangelist and be able to share the gospel. So the next time when Jesus came back to this part of Galilee, there were many, many people who believed in him and trusted in him. Now, I've entitled today's short devotional sharing with the title, "For the Sake of One." For the sake of one. I think it's important for us to remember that Jesus crossed the whole lake, encountering all the waves and the sea and the storm, okay, all for the sake of one person, this demon-possessed man. And even then, most probably he's not a Jew. Most probably was a Gentile. And yet, for the sake of one, Jesus crossed over the sea, through the storm, just for the sake of sharing and delivering the gospel into the life of one person. I think that's important for us to remember, that God cares even if there's one person. Sometimes we are evangelistic meeting, we say, "Oh, we will come," if there's hundreds or thousands of people, then. But Jesus showed us that one is important. Just for the sake of one, he went through all the trouble through the storm to deliver this one person from being demon-possessed. And that made a big difference. Not only his life, not only his family, but the whole area that he stayed in. That the gospel of salvation came into that area. So I think it's important for us to remember. The other incident that comes to mind was the healing at the pool of Bethesda. Remember the man who was lame, cannot walk for 30-odd years? Just entered there. That place must be full of sick people with all kinds of illnesses. But this man, because he was lame, he cannot get the water. Others got the water, others got healed, presumably. But out of all the sick people there, Jesus only recorded to go to this one man, this lame man, and ask him, and healed him. I think we must understand important lessons that we can learn from the life of Jesus. One person is important. For one person, he crossed the sea to deliver the demon-possessed man. For one person, he went to the pool of Bethesda, in a way not healing all the other sick people, but for this one person, he made a difference. So I think that's important for you and I to know that Jesus cares even for one. No one is not important to him. Everyone is important to Jesus. I think that's important. Okay. And someone has said that Jesus could sleep on the boat, one, because he's physically very tired, and just knew that he was at peace. He was not worried about the storm that he knew was coming. To him, the storm is nothing. He was at peace, he could sleep. Okay? Now, can you all think of one other person in the Bible who slept through a storm? Another person in the Bible also recorded that he slept through a storm. Anybody remember who that person is?
Jonah.
Jonah, okay? Now, Jonah slept through a storm. Thank you, Christine. Jonah slept through a storm. But does Jonah sleep the same as Jesus style of sleep? What do you think? What do you all think? I think Jonah was running away from God. Okay, he's literally disobeying God and running away from God. I don't know what conscience he has, but he could still sleep very well. Okay, but Jesus is different. Jesus was fulfilling and obeying God's will and at peace, and he could sleep and sleep very well. Okay, so I think it's important for us, a lot of us, if our conscience is not clear, a lot of us will have problems sleeping. But if our conscience is clear and we are at peace with God, sleep is one of the promises of God to his people. Okay? So whatever it is, don't be like Jonah, disobeying God, running away from God, and still can sleep. I think there's a side lesson from this incident. So even as we talk about a God who promised to be his people, a God who promised that even one person is important, that he will do what needs to be done, that one person will come to know him, will receive the good news. So I just pray that each one of us will not give up hope, especially for us, for some of us who have loved ones who have yet to come to know the Lord, or have known the Lord and backslided in their ways. Commit them to the Lord. Even one person is important in God's sight. So don't give up hope. Continue to pray that your family members, your friends, your colleagues, your neighbors, that they will come to know about Jesus Christ and receive the good news of Jesus Christ. For he's the God of promises, and he will keep his promise. If he says you'll go over to the other side, you can be assured that you'll reach the other side safely. It may not be an easy, smooth journey, but you arrive safely. I think that's important for us to remember. So today I'm going to close with another familiar song. Just listen to it and allow the words to speak to you.
Shout and sing, standing on the promises of God. Standing, standing, standing on the promises of God, my Savior. Standing, standing, I'm standing on the promises of God.
Standing on the promises that cannot fail, when the howling storms of doubt and fear assail, by the living word of God I shall prevail, standing on the promises of God. Standing, standing, standing on the promises of God, my Savior. Standing, standing, I'm standing on the promises of God. Standing on the promises
promises I cannot fall, listening every moment to the Spirit's call, resting in my Savior as my all in